So, this is Anita. First of all, my English is very Austrian. Can you understand me?
Yes, no, sure.
So far, so good. Okay, thank you for this opportunity to be with you, and thank you for the invitation, Riga and all the others. And then I have to thank you all the very special 50 people in the last week, and 500 nevertheless, always very special people of the past 10 days. One of those is Barbara from the Academy of Art over here. And then I would like to come to me on stage Annette and Eva and the other Eva and Christina and Asta and Alexei and Arvids and Marvins, and did I forget someone? And all the others? No, but those especially, please. They are just a couple of people representing two groups we had, each of them 3 to 5 days. And students of the Academy of Art and students, not so many today, but on the list and on the picture, students of the Faculty of Cultural Management. And these are the others in Jurmala. And what we did, we practiced ourselves and exercised ourselves in design thinking. And we applied a methodology on that. And that's just me, but we can talk about later on. Just my background is not art, my background is business administration. So I did my management and came a little bit later in the discipline of design. And what we did in 2 sessions, one in Riga and one in Jurmala, was a design jam. I think you're familiar with a jam in music. How would you describe it?
Improvisation.
People coming together. What kind of people?
Like-minded.
Like-minded and?
With one interest in mind. Or similar
Yeah.
interests.
Do they have something with them in the music jam?
What instruments?
Instruments. Are they already professionals on the instruments?
Excuse me?
Are they already professional with the instruments?
They can be.
They should be. It's not too bad. I mean, if you have 3 bloody beginners, it may be difficult. So it was just about applying the skills they have, and the format we called it is a jam, which means we come together. Our instruments are the Mac, the PC, a mouse, and a lot of thinking and investigations, and then we try to apply and work on the topic itself. By the way, how many programmers we have in this space? 3.5. How many designers we have? And the others are chemists, biology, philosophers. But you are all in the sense of usability. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, X, something like that. Okay, good. Just a definition of design for usability experts, it may be a little bit sound weird, but we talk about design as a platform for interaction. Not with a media, not with an instrument, but we offer design that people get into interaction with other people. That's the point. It's not about playing with the new iWatch, it's about 2 people playing with one iWatch. Or how that the iWatch can trigger 3, 4, 5, 6 people, or you here, discussing about something special and how to deal with that. The other definitions we used is, which is at the end we figured out that it is really something very important, that design is nothing else than a means for organization. If we design something, then we try to organize something. Sounds boring. At the very end, it's quite exciting. And finally, we invited one Japanese guy with his thinking on it, and we said in this 1 week we didn't invent anything, but we used what is existing. iOS 8 was not on stage now. We didn't miss it, I think. And we used just all the things, the people, the stuff, the resources, the materials, the time, the context we faced to play and to work. So, in that sense, this was the applied methodology, and this is really quite simple and really banal. We call it the triple diamond model, which means we have 3 phases. The first phase is the exploration, the second phase is the making, and the third one is the testing. Not too complicated in theory, in practice it's an exhausting work. And in each of these phases we try to open up, which means we try to get as many as possible feelings, dimensions, influences, opinions, and then out of this real richdom of information we cut down and go for one decision, which is the hardest part, or was the hardest part. The second phase, in the making, we again have, now we have already a topic, and with this topic we say, how can we solve this topic? And then creative people don't only have 1 million ideas, they have 1 billion ideas. So we again open up and try really to be open-minded, creative, and come with some unexpected and unusual solutions. But then we have a lot of limitations, like we don't have 1 million euro to spend, we don't have 3 months to spend, we just have a limited amount of time, no money, our skills we have at the moment, so we just have to make what's really possible to make. Because the point was that after that we have something in our hands, or something which is finished, and not these bloody executions like, oh, we could have done that and we could have done that. No, we did this and this is finished. And the third one is, of course, the testing, which means now we have a topic, now we have something which is in media for that, something which is an answer to that. And now the question is, how does the people react to that? What's the impact on that? Does it cause any feelings, any different opinions? How do people deal with that? And out of this, we again go for a closing down and say, what did we learn out of that? Simple. For this, someone does not have to come from Austria to Riga. In our case, it was like this. We started already 2 weeks before. They did a lot of investigations and surveys, asked people about the topics we had. Then they came with the answers, presented already not only their opinions, but already the opinions of, I would say, around 200 people. Then, based on this experience we have, we went to define the topic. Then, as designers, we said, what can we do with that? And out of the limitations, we decided to do this. And then, of course, which was the third part of it, we went for the testing. We had 2 topics, and I would like to start with the one which is on the list, and we had been invited to design of information and usability in e-environment, and basically it was the website of Latvia.lv. And the day, something like day, in between, they dealt with, of course, with the website and asked people and how do they feel, what's going on, what's going wrong. And finally they came up with 3 topics. And important in the entire time was, it's not about I like it or I don't like it, or who good or who bad. No, or not to blame always, oh, you could have done better. No. The question is, if we are in the situation that we can offer different solutions in the sense of different design, and different design causes different behavior, and out of that, what is this different behavior? And can we find a link between the design work and the behavior afterwards? So it's not about that, oh, I like it or oh, I don't like it, but we can explain, if we have a kind of this behavior, why? And if we want to reach a behavior like that, what do we have to do as a designer? We had 3 projects. The first one this was quite basics in website design or in design in general, Liene, Nina and Beatrix, two Erasmus students from Germany and Austria. Nina presented some basics, little basics, on composition, perception, readability and navigation. For instance, use colors in a smart way and not just for fun. And if you use colors once and it's coded one, then please stay consistent on that. Then they tested it immediately and just switched the navigation from the right side to the left side, and you see on the top the already improvement, which was not the improvement that we thought, but they went out on the street and asked immediately 25 people which one of this navigation design causes a better orientation and more clarity. They also did it in the sense of perception, in the sense of course, all the things you know on text and the findings. What they did is just they tested, do I know whether I'm logged in or not? And just this little on the top of the in the middle the green bar that my name and the silhouette of the people shows up immediately triggered a better feeling and a better understanding that now I'm really logged in and I know my status on that. Navigation, of course, which was where I am, intuitive, follow common design rules, no dead ends, and all this stuff, you know. Again, what they did is just the extended the bar with the tree of the menu orientation, and of course it triggers a better understanding why I am and not getting lost. And finally, readability, which is quite clear that the smaller the length is and the wideness is, the easier it is to read. Both. The second topic was about if it's Latvia.lv, it's not about e-services, basically it's about the identity of the state. No one else is in that position to symbolize what is a community, how do we organize our community, than a website and a platform like Latvia.lv. And now I may ask Christina and Eva and Oscar. Well, you know all this, huh? The identity of yourself. Maybe you will find something which fits also to you. Thank you. How many Latvians are here? At least one. Okay. Christina, some words on that?
Labi, jā. Mārtiņas pirms prezentācijas pačukstēja runājot latviski, tad mēs tā arī darīsim. Jā, un tad mūsu uzdevums bija Latvijai.lv piešķirt lapai Latvijas identitāti. Sākām mētāties ar idejām, vispār kas tas ir. Pirmais prātā nāca alus un tādas lietas, bet mēs sapratām, ka mēs strādājam ar nopietnu lapu, un šai lapai mums tādēļ vajadzēs arī nopietni šo dizaina materiālu maketu, un mēs nonācām pie 5 kategorijām, kuras pēc tam vēlāk mēs arī skaitījām un veidojām tos mūsu maketus, kurus vēlāk rādījām pēc tam tālāk cilvēkiem. Pirmais bija tātad daba fonā, bija arī mežs, jūra, koki, un oficiālais variants, mēs skriesim caurijām. Jā, un šeit varēja lieliski arī redzēt to atšķirību starp menedžeriem un dizaineriem, ja mēs bijām kopā samest tā kā vienā komandā. PowerPoint, tapus mājaslapiem, makets tātad, jā, kad bija daudz dažādas lietas jādara, kuras mēs nekad neesam darījuši. Piemēram, menedžeri iepazīstinās ar tādu programmu kā Illustrators, vai dizaineri uzzināja, ka ir Excelis, jā, un tā tālāk. Un jā, mēs devāmies pie cilvēkiem, rādījām šīs lapas, un kas viņiem patīk, kas uzrunā un kāpēc, lai beigās mēs radītu to vienu top, teiksim tā, pirmo, kas vislabāk patika, kas būtu tas ieteicamais, varbūt par ko būtu vērt pēc tam Latvija.lv veidotājiem padomāt. Interesanti bija tas, kā pierādījās tas, cik svarīgi ir testēt un pārbaudīt uz šiem cilvēkiem, kuriem jūs taisat šo te lapu, kad šis bija tas top 3 no cilvēkiem tātad pēc balsošanas, kurš vislabāk patika un kādi elementi, tad mums sākotnēji kā dizaineriem, menedžeriem un arī pasniedzējiem šis tops bija pilnīgi otrādi un likās, ka pilnīgi citas lietas strādā. Bet ejot testējot uz cilvēkiem, tas pilnīgi apgriezās otrādi. Jā, būtībā tas arī tas galvenais. Un tad beigās lielvārds jūs lūdzu, Latvijas karo krāsas. Un ģerbonis tādēļ, ka šajā mājaslapā mums ir jāliek savi dati, tad ģerbonis ir tas, kas mums vieš šo uzticību. Ļoti ātrumājām.
Now it's about Janitas, the topic of this presentation, because it was quite a nice finding that when we, all of us, investigated the topic, that it's not only about the website, but basically it's about the people in the organization. So all these people of the state dealing with the topic, dealing with the website, dealing with the services, and being a link between the population, the Latvians, and the e-services like that. And Eva, you might give a short introduction into the context of Anita.
I will try to do it. Stāsts par Anitu tapa īstenībā aizsākās nedaudz pirms mūsu workshop kopīgā, jo pirms tam mēs bijām spiesti vai aicināti vai lūgti veikt priekšizpēti. Un mēs iepazināmies ar mūsu galveno vēroni ar Anitu. Nevis ar cilvēku, kas ir valsts pārvaldes augstujā, bet ar to, kas nodarbojas ar cilvēku apkalpošanu un ikdienā ar tiem strādā. Un Anita, kā ļoti daudzi, varētu būt ceļš, kā lietotājus novadīt uz Latvijas LV lapu. Tātad pēc mūsu aprēķiniem ir aptuveni 3000 Anitas Latvijā, un 50% no cilvēkiem izvēlas izmantot valdības servisu pakalpojumus aci pret aci. Tātad Anitas ir ar šiem 50% Latvijas iedzīvotāju ciešā kontaktā. Mēs domājam, vajadz kā palīdzēt Anitai. Un arī izstrādājam dažādus rīkus, tie varētu būt flyeri, tie varētu būt bukleti, infogrāfiki un tā tālāk un tā joprojām. Tad mēs, protams, nolēmām pajautāt arī ministrijas pārstāvjiem, mēs nolēmām pajautāt arī pašām Anitām. Un rezultātā mēs nonācām pie tādu ļoti interesantu secinājumu, ka varbūt netik svarīgs ir dizains flyeriem vai infogrāfikus veidot vai kādus materiālus, bet jāsāk ir ar komunikāciju, jo situācija bija tāda, ka ministrija teica, ka jau ir PR kampaņas, ka jau ir materiāli, brošūras. Savukārt pašas Anitas teica, ka viņām šī materiāla nav pieejama. Tātad, cilvēkiem nav ko dot īstenībā palasīt.
Būtībā mēs zinām, kas ir Latvijā LV lapa, par to mums stāstīja, bet mums viens nepateica, ka mums tas ir jāsakrīt cilvēkiem.
Jā, un līdz ar to mēs secinājām, ka tas pats galvenais būtu pielietot dizaina metodas vai kādas citas metodas un šoreiz šo komunikāciju uzlabot. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So you see, out of the same method and out of the same survey, just because of a different focus, we showed up with finally 3 different approaches to the topic. Interesting was that in the final outcome of the conference, Anita was a new terminology. So, and it was quite interesting to see that a conference with 200 people dedicated to e-services now came back to the human mankind and people dealing with that, triggering, motivating people, and maybe blocking or maybe promoting this tool. The other thing was very similar setup in Jurmala. The topic we all together have chosen and given from the municipality was Rainis and Aspasia. I think you're familiar with that. Shall we continue our survey with Rainis? Who thinks it was a pain in school, Rainis and Aspasia? Nobody wants to show up, but you smile. That's great. It was the similar impression we have had, all of us, and we had this fantastic opportunity to be with Aria, one of the main stakeholders of Aspasia in Jurmala, and Sandra listening very carefully on that. We followed again the same procedure and the same platform, the same Japanese guide, the same way as you see now, how, and we came up with 3 projects. The 3 orchids had been quite interesting because we had some guys over there. They are really artists, and they made out of that an arts project. We had 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 smart thinkers of the Faculty of Cultural Management. They really went and come back with a smart project on that. And the designers came back with a design project. So it's nice that you are what you are. Number one, perhaps Anette, you would like to give a short impression. We won't show the movie.
Yeah. But or maybe we can show a movie and tell anything, no?
The movie is quite long.
It's 4 minutes and a little bit more. I think it's better.
In this blue bag, there's a Beats loudspeaker. Could you please take it and bring it to me?
Jā, līdz tam es varu pastāstīt par to, ka mums sākumā bija dažādas idejas, kuras bija arī vairāk saistīts ar dizainu, un beigās mēs plakām pie tāda vairāk emocionāla un tāda, jā, vairāk mākslas veida, kā pastāstīt cilvēkiem par Rainu un Aspaziju, izveidojot vienu vilcienu vagonu, kurā tiktu atskaņots Aspazijas un Rainu mīlestības vēstules. Un tad mēs paši uztaisījām tādu demo versiju tam, lai ejot runāt ar cilvēkiem, mēs varam viņiem piedāvāt, kāds varētu izklausīties. Jā. Vilcienu izmantotājs uzrunājām, un tad šis vilciens, teiksim, cilvēkiem, mūsuprāt, arī ir vajadzīgs tieši tāpēc, ka, kad mēs jautājam, vai viņi kādreiz ir braukuši kaut kādu neparastu vagonu vai kaut kādā veidā neparastu izbaudījuši šo it kā garlaicīgo laiku vilcienā, tad, principā, atbild bija nē, vai arī viņi atcerējās kaut kādu ar puķītiem aplīmētu vagonu, kas, principā, ne viņiem pašiem, ne mums neko īpaši neizteica. Un jā, kaut kā tā. That's it.
Great, thank you very much. The third one, not the second one, sorry, was the smart one. And the smart one was basically just one formula. Maybe Barbara, you have 2 words on that? One and a half.
It was so philosophical.
It can. No. Alexei? No. Thanks.
Right, it wasn't our topic, but actually girls came up with something very, very unique. It was a very, very short formula which could create a thinking about Rains and Aspazija in a really, really simple way. Basically, they came up with Aspazija minus Rainis to start a conversation about them. So, conversation was about why Rains minus Aspazija, what does it mean? So they wanted to start some it was really, really deep stuff. It's really hard to explain, but basically you could even write a book about Rains minus Aspazija, because what Rainis would be without Aspazija and what Aspazija would be without Rainis, or the date of birth are not really the same, and there is really a lot of different things which we could talk about. So that would be really really, really short way how to just present their idea.
It's just to trigger the discussion. It's just a platform for the interaction. If it seems that you, as Latvians, somehow have an understanding of Rheinis and Aspasia, the question could be, is it Aspasia and Rheinis? And if we say Aspasia minus Rheinis, how much is it? Is it the same Aspasia? If we say Rheinis minus Aspasia is 0, then what was the impact of her? And it was just to shift a little bit the recognition of the do's and how they may be seen in the public, but also what kind of emphasis, what kind of focus is given to this guy and also the relation together. And finally, we had cultural navigation, speaker of the third group. Marvin again. Right.
Mēs palīdzēsim viens otram runāt latviski.
Tā, mums kultūra un Jūrmala un Rainis un Aspāzija bija diezgan nopietns pārbaudījums. Un mēs meklējām, kā mēs varētu Rainu un Aspāziju piesaistīt Jūrmalai, lai cilvēki, tā kā Jūrmala būs nākamā pasludina kā Rainu un Aspāzijas pilsēta. Un Rainim un Aspādai ir 150 gadi nākamgad. Kā mēs varētu to palaist tālāk, lai cilvēki to līdz tam sāk aizdomāties un vairāk pievērst Jūrmalai to īstenībā, to patieso seju, ka Rainis un Aspādi ir dzīvojuši Jūrmalā, kurš zina no Jūrmalas kas ciemojās Jūrmalā. Tā kā mēs ļoti daudz uzzinājām. Mēs sākām savu projektu ar to, ka mēs gājām cilvēkos un sākām jautāt, lai kaut kā sakonektēt šitās divas lietas kopā – kultūra un Jūrmala. Uzreiz mēs devāmies uz Jūrmalu, uz Pludmali.
Īstenībā mēs to noskaidrojām tāpēc, kad bijām iegājuši informācijas centrā, kas ir pirmā vieta, kur parasti dodās turists, parastais, kas nekad nav bijis Jūrmalā. Prasījām darbiniekiem informācijas centrā, uz kurien iet cilvēks, ka viņš atbrauc, piemēram, ar vilcienu vai mašīnu. Pirmais, ko viņi, protams, atbildēja, ir jūras krasts, tātad Pludmale. Par kultūras pieminekļiem viņi interesējās tikai tad, kad ir slikts laiks. Un tātad mēs sapratām to, kad ir jāmeklē veids, kā kultūru vest pie cilvēkiem, tātad uz Pludmali.
Un tas bija veids, kā mēs gribējām izmantot to, ka kultūru izmantot liederīgā veidā, ka izmantot kultūru kā navigāciju. Un šī veidā izmantot pilnu to potenciālu tā. Sanāk tā, meklējot problēmu Jūrmalā, runājot ar cilvēkiem, mēs noskaidrojam, ka lielākā vizitoru apmeklētāja problēma ir navigācija Jūrmalā. Un cilvēki vēl joprojām orientējās pēc vilcienstacijām, un mēs izdomājam, labi, mēs lietosim jūsu navigācijas sistēmu Pludmalē, kas joprojām vēl tā notiek. Tad mēs atradām, runājot ar cilvēku, vēl vienu problēmu, ka cilvēki nezin, cik tālu viņi ir nogājuši Pludmalē, vai nezin, kur viņi atrodas Pludmalē. Un tad mēs domājam, labi, lietojam tas, kas ir, un kaut ko pamainīt. Mēs izdomājam, ka Miskas varētu būt mūsu mērvienība Jūrmalā, kas pēc glābšanas dienas datiem ir ik pa 100 metriem. Tad otrs, ko mēs kā dizaineri domājam, kā vienmēr nostrādā color codes, kad cilvēki atcerās frāzes neapzināti un kas varētu arī palīdzēt.
Jā, varbūt viņi neatcerās, piemēram, vārdus kā majori vai dubulti, tīpaši bērni, viņiem tas neko neizsaka. Bet krāsas ir pazīstams jau no dzimšanas īstenībā, kaut vai zemapziņas līmenī.
Un tad mēs nonācām pie gala rezultātu, kad viss, kas tiek arī Pludmala tiek sadalīti pa krāsām, pa numuriem un ar vides pieminekļiem, kas sanāk tā, ka, ja cilvēki brauc, mēs negribam cilvēkus no Jūrmalas, Pludmalas vilkt uz pilsētu, ja cilvēki brauc uz Jūrmalas, Pludmali, lai kultūra jau būtu tur. Un mēs nonācām pie viena tādas kopējas kartes, kur mēs skaidri varam norādīt, kā mēs pārnesam dzelzceļa stacijas uz Pludmali. Pēc krāsu kodiem tiek sadalīti Pludmali un arī vides pieminekļi, kur ir, kas tiek raisina to jautājumu, kāpēc viņi tur ir. Viņi arī darbojās kā norādes uz muzejiem un apskates vietām pašā Jūrmalā.
Kā arī viņi ir vienkārši līdzīgi kā Rīgā, piemēram, Raina piemineklis ir tikšanās vieta. Varbūt daudz vairs neizmanto tādu terminu kā esplanāde, bet vienkārši saka, tiekamies pie Raiņa. Nezinu.
Es domāju, ka tie vidas pieminieki varētu ļoti labi strādāt. Un caur darba procesu un testējot to uz cilvēkiem, mēs noskaidrojām, ka jebkura lieta, kas tiek pamainīta Jūrmalā, ļoti ir iespaidīga. Viņi uzreiz bija ļoti atsaucīgi, cilvēku uzmanību tas pievērsa ļoti lielā apjomā. Un galds mums bija tāds, ka navigācija īstenībā ir drošība. Un kultūra Jūrmalai būtu tā pievienotā vērtība.
Good. Design thinking. We just applied methods to gain empathy and organization. Of course, we know that design is always a toolbox for beautiful execution, and what we can offer to the community, to the municipality, but whoever we're talking with, is just some methods, some workouts to go for a better decision. We as designers, we cannot do the decision. We only can show what might happen, and we can contribute with our skills, with our expertise, and with our ability to design, which means giving importance to some of the things that people who are really in the position to go for decisions may hopefully go to a better decision. In that sense, thank you very much, and Valdis.
So your questions, please.
Okay, I had a question about Anita's project. You said that like 50% of people are using face-to-face communication. They choose instead of ACLV portal. Have you checked why this is so? Who are those people? Those 50% that are using face-to-face communication instead of using online?
If we are 100% you and me, then it's 50% you and 50% me.
Yeah, but have you digged in deeper? Why?
Yes.
Who are those people?
Because we are human people. We want to. You're not Italians, because in Italy it would be 80% or 90%, yeah, because they exchanged your recipes. But basically, even the more I think, but you know better than me now, on the countryside, it's a reason to talk. It's a reason to leave your solitudeness and come in touch with people. So if they have the feeling that they lose contact to the other people, they won't use the e-government. So these are the 50%. Yes, we see, if you want to have our passports within 3 hours because I'm already checked in and I have possibility based on the services, then I can get it. Of course I love it. If my travel is at Christmas, there's no reason to do that. So if there's not a real benefit immediately, whether it's cheaper or earlier or quicker or whatever it is, mankind always, I think, will prefer this nice chat they have with the people they are familiar with, especially in the countryside.
So it wasn't like age group or anything, it's mostly like because they needed this human connection to the government.
Of course there's a tendency. Of course there's a tendency that a generation who grew up already with this kind of things, they find different mechanism on that. But I think it's just pretending to say it's just the old people and not so familiar. I think also, I mean, that you showed up here is one sign that we have somehow a need to interact personally. And that's, I think, a very similar context with disease services. If this was an answer to your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, please.
I really like the idea culture as navigation, and the idea about color coding the seaside was also interesting. I know that coloring the seaside is impossible because of reasons, but the idea of labeling the trash cans by numbers, you actually did it, and you were allowed to do it, and is it a possible solution for the future that all trash cans are numbered or color coded or somewhat to ease the navigation in the seaside? Because from personal experience, I say that I get lost when I walk somewhere and I can't find the way can't find the place where I was laying down before.
Yes, we presented the Jurmalas Dome and they couldn't, of course it's up to them, but they couldn't see any problems to actually get those bins numbered. Also, the coloring wouldn't be actually sand itself, it would only bins between the stations and also maybe changing cabins between the stations, so they would kind of gather up that color so that people would know where they are. But yeah, we most of our design solutions we actually got from people when we went and talked to them. Actually, they told us their problems. So only our job was to come together, 5 of us, and work hard actually to figure out on those points where they pointed out. So we only just combined everything and came up with like a simple thing. And it's just, it would be nicer actually if it could be in real life.
The point was what's already there. So we don't have to put another 500 signs on the beach, but what kind of really periodically points of meeting points are already there. The initial idea of them was that the trash bin, if you behave in a good way on the beach, you want to get your litter really in the bin, and so it's a point like this to meet there. And we had seen several, or let's say, the number of trash bins was big enough to serve as a navigation system. Of course, the next day after we found out, they removed all the trash bins. But the changing, dressing little, how you call that? Cabins, they stayed there, and quite a lot of them. So we also could use them. So it's just a question, we could go for a solution quite quickly without a bunch of money, but just using the existing furniture we have already at the beach. In Italy, for instance, you have these colored umbrellas along that, and you know it's the yellow section or the green one. So the trash bin was a point of interest, but of course we have to see what's there we can use with that.
So the main problem would be if the number system is implemented for the numbers not to be changed by the workers who manage it.
Yeah.
But I think the education system is good enough. But that's really because we know it from the highways, of course. We can't start 1, 2, 3 in each color. It really has to be a system which goes up. And of course, I think you said for any kind of rescue, it's if really the helicopter has to come, or the boat, or whatever it might be, it's a very clear and precise navigation.
Yeah, that was exactly. Lifeguard worker actually pointed out on that kind of problem, because even they themselves can't find to find somebody on the beach, and even when they call ambulance for them, it's even harder to find out where to get. So that number system was like a really good way. We were just laughing, saying it could be the longest measuring tape on the world. In the world, yeah. So.
Ja, es varu vēl piebilst latviski, īstenībā tā bija atbilde uz glābēja. Pirmo dienu mēs runājam ar glābēju, tā bija atbilde uz viņu problēmu, kad vasarā, kad ir ļoti daudz cilvēki, viņš laiku patērē nevis glābjot cilvēkus, piemēram, no slīkšanas, vai glābi cilvēkus no kaut kā, ka viņiem paliek slikti, bet viņi vienkārši ir kā vecāku palīgi, kas meklē pazudušus bērnus, kas ir pilnīgi absurdi. Glābējiem to nevajadzētu darīt īstenībā, ka mēs meklējam risinājumu, kā to varētu mainīt.
Did you talk about the digital?
No.
I mean, of course, it could be supported by what we have. Yeah? If there's a QR code on that, or if there's even an iBeacon in the trash bin or at the sticker, then it even could be more active, the system. That's now the question, how to improve, how to professionalize, how to make it really precise and active going on. And the app for the iWatch, I have no idea. Or the swimsuit. Maybe. Good.
Any more questions? No one? So I got one. So what could you suggest how we could force governments to make those governmental systems user-centric, not system-centric? How it could be done? It's only Latvia problem, or is everywhere in the world?
Well, the question is, I think the government wants to have it. They want to have it implemented.
Are you really sure for that?
Yes, I'm sure. I think I only can now talk about Austria. I have no idea about the outside, not even Austria, maybe a little bit of Vienna. As long, I think the government has the interest to use these e-governmental e-services because it saves a lot of money. It makes it more precise. We have less mistakes in all our data we have because we don't have to copy and paste and things like that. And of course, the documentation and the tracking is much, much easier. So I think the state itself has a lot of interest bringing it into it. What they really lack of is, I think, is the platform of working together. They have a lot of experts in that, people who are traveling around the world and they really know what they want, but somehow they don't find a way of collaboration. And I think also we experienced that it needed, even for us, sometimes just to mix these two faculties of cultural management and the Academy of Arts. We have to train in the trust into the other disciplines. We have to train ourselves that accept these are the experts, they go for a solution, and then after that we talk again about that. Of course, maybe the relevance and the impact of design is a little bit underestimated on that. And we don't talk about aesthetics here. In Italy it's quite easy because you don't have to talk about aesthetics because everybody knows what's the function of aesthetics. They know. Mid-Europe, North Europe, East Europe, aesthetics is something like decoration. So I think we also have to shift this perception of the functionalities of each discipline and supporting it. I'm sorry, this is a long answer.
No, it's good.
Could you have a short question for me? No, but I think we shouldn't mix up the wish to have it or the wish to do it and the wish to implement and really the ability to really go for the implementation. I think in this room where we met these 200 people, no one of them really wants to block it. And they are happy if someone shows up and can help them, support them in the implementation. Sometimes we don't speak the different language. Somehow, I only can talk about designers in Austria, but people are afraid from designers because they may say that I have a very bad taste. I don't like that. So maybe we just find a different way of communication. I think it's not about the topic itself, it's the way we deal with it. Promise, this was the finish of it.
Yeah. So any more questions? More questions?
And how you did it? Did you do that for free for a government or something? Or is it some company or school project or what?
Basically, I was part of the Erasmus program. They got 2 very nice lunches in the Rock Cafe and some credits at the school. And for us it was a very nice way of exercising the methodology, exercising the way we work together and work on real life projects. That's the nice thing about it. Then no contract, no really, we can't solve in 3 days what the whole city and the state is not solving in 3 years. It's not in 3 days, maybe 4. Good.
And what do you think? Will your consideration will be implemented for Latvia.lv sometime, or it's already implemented already?
Anita is a new term. I think if you really had an impact, first of all, that it's another long answer.
You're curious.
2 points. The first thing is that design does not solve everything. Design can give expression to a strategy. Basically, it doesn't make any difference how does it look like, as long as it shows that it's important. If I have the understanding that if you're familiar with design, designare, Latin word, yeah, it's nothing else than giving importance. If I don't care, then I can feel they don't care. If it's visible that they care about, which means they give attention and give focus to that, then I know, oh, that's important. If you mark one of these chairs, that there must be something different to the others. So I think that's one of the impact to see that design can trigger it. The real visual is a matter of strategy and decisions. The other point is that, and now we are back to the Japanese guy, use what exists to create what is to be, is that these 3,000 Anitas, if they are afraid to lose their job, did you say that already? No. If they are afraid to lose the job just because e-services shows up, then of course they won't promote it. So they will be very reluctant on that because, well, if they make it for their own, what's my functionality in that? If they understand, like for instance, the Apple stores around the world, that they don't sell, but they are the flagship store, that even these people, these 3,000 Anitas are the flagship stores of the state, assisting, consulting to the people, but also looking for the good process. If they are used, I think they could be much, much more efficient and effective than a big campaign in TV and in the newspapers. And maybe this was one of the, I have no idea, I don't even understand like that. Maybe. Good. Yeah.
Okay, is there more questions for Martin? Yeah?
Please collaborate. That's, I think we have seen that it may work and it works. They found a way that cultural managers and designers cooperate, trust each other. Perhaps it also works with usability experts, programmers and all the others. Find a way of platforms to collaborate on that. And thanks for this opportunity to be here.
Okay, thank you, Martin.
Project. Why we did it? We did it for experience, because how many of you have done usability design, no, usability redesign or, okay, how many of you have done it for the real objects, not web? Okay, one. Also, pages. Okay. Like 2 months ago, I haven't done it by myself too, but then this project allowed me to publish it out. Yes, and to write an approach and see what it is in the real. Also, why the real project, not real stuff, not web. Because usability is everywhere. It's elevator buttons, checking meters, and phones we're using, remotes, and the last one for the greater good, to give something back to community and to do something like meaningful, not just for money, but to give back. And what we did in this Meetup project, we interviewed people, made observations, we also measured, then we built a prototype, then we measured again with the prototype, then we analyzed the data. Step by step, the first one. This is interface of the Meetup. Who can say who are the top 3 problems that people are experiencing when using this?
like color buttons.
Too much information.
Instant confusion.
Broken closure principle.
But the problems, what you couldn't do, at first, who knows where to put a payment card?
No idea.
Everybody spend it.
Okay, you can later read that there's the Visa logos and stuff, but one of the main problems is people going to the parkometer can't see where to put it, and it's really down. It's like parkometer is like this up, and this card is here. And it's really important because it's first step to start interaction with this machine. The second one. Okay, what? Can you describe me process how you can pay for the parking? What the steps of this process are? Yes.
Put in the coin, take the ticket. That's it.
That's the solution. We observed and interviewed people. That was the solution. Some of the people are using with this machine. The solution is not using it. They're going crossing the street to get out the parkometer where you can pay with coins. Okay, the second major problem was that the users can't understand how to a sequence of action. And the last one, you need to pay like euro 20. How can you do it? Can someone help me, please? I'm using this. Yes?
I would expect by numbers, clicking numbers, but so that's probably not the right answer.
I would use the keyboard up there.
Keyboard up there.
Try the number, yeah.
Yes, okay. This keyboard up there, actually, you give it the PIN code. You enter the PIN code.
Entering PIN code.
And after that, you don't use this at all.
Yes.
There's no use of this at all after this process. Actually, there are 5 buttons in a row, and these are used to increase the sum of payment. And this one increases it by €1, and this one increases it by 10 cents. And who can tell me what these 3 buttons do? What?
Nothing.
Yes, absolutely nothing.
That's for future expansion.
Yes. Okay, here's the summary. Where to put the payment card, what's the sequence of actions, and how to increase the sum of payment. What we did, based on these problems, we created our prototype. It is a paper prototype. It's not designed, it's for the usability process to test our hypothesis about can we help people to understand it. For the sequence of actions with on numbers, there's actually missing the first one, really big one, insert card here. For the payment, there's plus €1 plus 10 cents. And yeah, and for instant card, that's a big number 1.
And weight, one step is weight.
Yes, and also the sequence is ordered by weight. Like 1 is really big, and these 2 is smaller, 3 is smaller, 4 is smaller, 5 is smallest one. Okay. The thing with usability, you need to measure something to really see if you are doing, if you're changing something. That was hard. It was like in this point, we needed our sense of humor because we went to the interviews and observations, then we came back, then we creating the prototype, then we understand how can we tell if we're really doing something. That means we need to go again and measure. And what we measured the time, it's the efficiency of use, the number of errors, effectiveness, and user attitude towards process, like satisfaction. And we measured before and after, like we stick the prototype to the parameter and measured again with the prototype. And results were a little bit interesting because we decreased the time, used the interaction time with prototype, we decreased by 20% and increased satisfaction increased by 20% satisfaction. But errors, we decreased the number of errors by 94%. And it was a little bit misunderstanding in our UX team because like it can really be that big, but also I will tell you about this later. But the main thing is even if you measure it in different way, there is with the prototype there were no users who did the process more times than one. But at the first, without a prototype, when we observed, there were 2 people who actually did the whole process 3 times, because you need to understand the system before the payment card, like information about payment card goes away. Then you start it again, and you can increase it, like for the 4 minutes you can use this document. Okay. Next thing. Of course, progress is not perfection. We are not born experts. We know, we talk about this, analyze this later. At first, we could use other methods of measuring. Like intuitively, we can say that we improved something, but the methods are somewhat questionable. For the number of errors, like really questionable. Also, the time management in project, because at the start I said it was the Innovation Friday. And we thought that we can do it in one day, like start in one day and end it in one day. In real, it took us like 2 working days, like if we count the hours together. Okay, then what's next? About the Parameter project, we understood that it was interesting to learn about it, but it's not something we are interested to do in the future. But we have this Students Hospital project. Who has heard about this project? Okay, who are here first time? Okay. That's why you haven't heard it. And the Students Hospital project is, there's a hospital, a Students Hospital, one of the central Riga hospitals, and it has a map. But this map has a big problem, it's unreadable. Like people can't find where to go and where am I right now and that. And we started the group to do this thing, also for the same reasons we did the Document project, for experience and for the greater good. Okay, maybe you have any questions or opinion? Yes?
I know for a fact that those parking filters they will not change for at least 10 years. I have this information. But what you can actually do is take the plastic wrap that is not see-through, and you could like suggest an idea to Riga September to manage this. That if you could design the old sticker, you can suggest them to put it over the current thingamajiggies, and it is really inexpensive way to solve this ridiculous problem. So there's actually a potential for this, like really be. I think they would give you the budget for designing the leaflets and making it actual thing, because I can see really like more than 500 euros, already more than quite a lot of those. I think you could ask for 1,000 euros and they were like, oh that's easy. Because if you do more thorough testing with people and show them the actual result, the participant number or the other, you could actually persuade them to get the project up with it.
Yes, but I think also it's needed to do some more iterations of the prototype to really know that it works. While we are thinking about something like this project, this is the map of the hospital, because beneficiary here is people. In the Riga September, yes, it's people, but it's somewhat questionable. Because if we do it, we're like the volunteer. If you volunteer to this project, then in one moment it's like, who am I working for? And the Swedish hospital, okay, this is a hospital, but the main beneficiary from this map would be people who are using it. Then yes, this idea we could send to Riga September this prototype with the numbers and like design this and put it in stick it to your parking meters. But yes, okay, maybe another question or opinion or two, yes?
I think the best suggestion is just use mobile app.
That was also solution for many people, because there's suffered with observation. If you have ever observed people, which you're not told them to come in this time and want to observe them, you wait besides the parkomat, and you see the car goes in the parking lot, and then people sit like paying for this. And this was a little bit frustrating, and it really needed the one thing, the sense of humor, because you're doing it for 2 hours, you're just staying there, waiting. But yes, they are using mobility. Also, the new system, the Riga September system, where you can pay with SMS. Liga also had a question.
Yeah, just a remark about the previous question. It would be quite hard to find a mobility sticker at this machine, right? Because it's already so colorful and labeled. But yeah, the question is, I know that Petros is a really huge fan of user profiling, persona thing. How do you profile the users? People best, or you find different types of people with different approach, or just one kind of holistic user? So, did you draw personas before this thing?
Es varu tev parjautāt latviski jautājumu. Tev ir vēlreiz latviski izstāstīt, sorry, es nenoķēru.
Es tikai zinu, ka Pēters ir liels fans taisīt visas šitās personas un veidināja grupas, vai jūs to darījāt, ja jā, kādas ir tās grupas un kā to jūs visu tajā iekļāvāt iekšā un kā tas palīdzēja?
Paldies. Okay, we haven't done personas for this project because this was mainly usability, and usability is an aspect of user experience. Like there's a saying that usability is a high road, and usability and user experience is the road in the mountains with a good view and that. In this project we has gone to the highway way. But if there were more time and interest about this, then we could do personas and this the whole process.
Tikai viens scenārijs tur ir.
Kas?
Tikai viens scenārijs. Parkamākiem.
Divi. Etalona arī var maksāt.
The question was because I was curious how, for instance, tourists would perceive this machine announcement prototype. It can be interesting. Because there could be like local mindsets and local habits, and then there are people who are coming first time in Riga at all. So how do they perceive the machine?
Yes, I agree that could be like.
No, it wasn't the question. It's just interesting how
we talked about this. There was a reasoning behind why we choose only one language and only payment with the card, because there is option to pay it with the etalons, but we hid it right here. Yes, this like no progress, not perfection. But yes, you can do personas, you can do many scenarios, the languages. What we found out that many people are speaking Russian when interacting with this machine.
Were all the directions only Latvian? Yes.
Actually, yes.
Well, yeah, but because
you could switch language probably.
Most of the local people will probably use the mobily, but I had this problem in Estonia when the only way to pay for the cheapest parking, the cheapest parking places was to use an SMS system, and all the parking places which offered some kind of machine, all those places were more expensive, but at least I could pay there because it just says use that system to pay for this, and the tariff is as follows. But if I'm a tourist, this is the machine I will most probably use, because I might not have any coins. Okay, now we have euros, but still I might not have enough coins to put my car for a longer period of time. So this might be my only solution how to pay for the parking. So I think that it would be quite important to analyze this from a foreigner's point of view.
There is a really dumb problem why the parking meters are only Latvian. It was originally it had Russian. Originally it had all three languages, but they were quickly taken down because of a complaint from Latvian language or something like that. They complained that only Latvian is the main language of Latvia, so like on the street signs, everything needs to be Latvian.
No, actually that's bullshit. If English and Latvian is smaller than, if English and Russian is smaller than Latvian, the translations can also stay. That was the same case as it is in the central railway station, where you can use Russian and English for the foreigners who travel in by trains, and by the same justifications, signs that are meant for tourists, and in this case the subject can be also meant for tourists, and it can be labeled in foreign languages as well, only they have to be smaller than the Latvian language or something like that.
So maybe it was just a management problem that didn't manage the situation. They would know, so they just didn't want to solve it.
Because in those there are signs in English and well, they're not taken out. Sorry.
Yes, I have a short question. Why you have chosen not to give option of coins in your prototype?
It's hardware problem, I think, because this machine is
why we haven't considered this option?
Yeah, because before they changed it, there were coins.
Yeah. But there's some kind of research that there's more and more credit cards and coins and other things.
Actually, I don't believe. If you want to discuss, we need data. But as I observed, like a lot of people, especially foreigners who don't speak Latvian or Russians from Russia, the first thing they come to pay is they look for coins.
Yeah.
And this is a more fastest and most easiest way. Of course, we are in 21st century, but as I observed in Germany, in IKEA, they don't use credit cards. They use cash, and a lot of cash. And the question is, why? So this is to reflect, not just
Ask banks, really.
yeah, of course it's about making money, about control, but coins, remember, keep it simple, because if you stay like a leading car for 1-2 hours, how much you need? 2 euros? Maximum 3 euros in the white center. That's maximum.
Yes, we thought about this problem too, but the main goal was to see what we can do with paper prototype. Not because we cannot like, Riga September, we are in an Innovation Friday wanting to change your parking meter. We need like lots of money to recreate the stuff. The more experiment was about see how user interface can change that little, like you can stick the page on it, and how can you change the experience users having. And this was the main goal. But also with the coins, there's in top there's written the nearest automat where you can pay with coins are there.
And it is said in Latvia. Yeah. And if I see that little arrow and the coin sign, I will come to the side of the machine and search where they put in that coin that should be near this corner, because that I think is just
okay.
Yes. Actually, if I'm not wrong, they changed those machines to credit cards because there were a lot of cases when people were robbing those cases. That is one of the main reasons, if I'm not wrong.
That is one of the problems that is facing the new echelons apparatus, those big machines.
Yes.
By people put bags in the coin slots and then fill them out.
I'm sorry, any other questions? Yes?
I wanted to inspire you to go more far with this prototype and create it without any language or any text on it.
It was...
And go maybe to Riga September and do something about change.
We could ask Riga September to next meetup to present the case here, because they are afraid that he will sell something to them.
By the way, there is a really good example of good user experience for such type of machine that's called Neste or Lukoil. When you go there for the first time, you have to be a bit retarded not to get it right, because well, it is so easy. You enter, you put in the card, and you have the one screen, one pad that does everything, and well, it is really easy. So that is one way to.
Okay. Comments, questions? Yeah.
Have you tried another scenario? For example, I need to stay for 20 minutes. How do I know how much should I pay?
Jautājumi cilvēkiem bija. Kas? Mēs uzdevām jautājumus cilvēkiem, ko viņi grib.
Yes, we asked this question for the people actually, how they pay. Do they pay for time or do they pay amount of money? And this is, we haven't gone there. Like we didn't in the prototype show this, but the main idea, they are usually paying for the time, but the system is the system uses like coin system. You can increase by the complete amounts of money. And yes, this is this was the scenarios we have seen, but as I said, it's like to do this one, like the full project, it will need more time. Like it can't be like, okay, maybe we can change in the world in one day. No, we can't. Usability and user experience isn't done in one day. Okay. So and to conclude. Okay, I asked you what is the most important skill for UX designer. I told you two other answers, but the most serious answer is most important skill is ability and openness to learn about users and to learn about new methods, how to do it. Okay, thanks for your attention, but I'm not saying goodbye, like just back. Now it's your turn. Now down something you want to learn in the UX field, and then go out and find, don't wait for it, but find opportunity to do it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah,
just a very weird question. Are you speaking English just because you're so polite of me, or is it your standard? First of all, thank you, not speaking only for me. I'm happy about that. But this is, I spent this year, I think 7 or 8 times in Italy. They are so smart people, but they can't express because they got stuck in the language. And it's so fantastic to see, not because it's non-Latvian or English, but you find a way to go out by communication. And I only can say congratulations to that and to this discipline.
Just 2 small nations, so therefore we just need to learn and speak.
I know it's not there, yes. Okay.
So, wir können auch ein bisschen Deutsch sprechen.
Wir Österreicher nicht so, da müssen wir uns sehr anstrengen.
So Martin, maybe you could elaborate on this project, parking meters, what you have in Vienna, for example. Do you have the same problem, a little bit better?
They have some strange papers there, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we have some strange papers. No, basically, Vienna has a clear strategy that we want to reduce the individual traffic with your own car to 0 in the next 10 years. At the moment, we know that 25% of all waste transportations are still done by individual cars and things like that. But the main target of the city council is to reduce it to 0. So everything which is assisting using your cars downtown